Hello, listeners. I am the Bedtime Storyteller, and I hope that these series of stories will bring you peace before bedtime and make you sleep better. For those of you who love to listen to stories before bedtime, you can follow my channel, and I'll be updating it with all sorts of fantastical stories. Next, I'm going to tell you about the 11th episode of the first season of The Candle in the Tomb. The power of the submerged current and the dark surge under the river's surface is getting bigger and bigger. It can't be stopped at all. The body can't help but be rushed by the river water to continue to move forward. And the huge monster behind it also follows behind as if it were a shadow. Most of its body is in the water, rolling up waves of water. The river's cave is too dark. Only hear its voice, cannot see its shape, judging from the sound. Its size is at least 7 or 8 meters long. The last section of the dark river, the current is even more rapid. The 4 of us are afraid of being washed away, tightly hugged together, and the river spinning down a cave. Below is a huge underground river. The water temperature in the river is very high. There are countless tributaries like the river we just passed through, spouting out from the mountain wall like a big faucet. Converging into the main river below, there are also a lot of protruding holes on both sides of the stone, constantly bubbling out of the white high-temperature gas. Some of the cracks in the stone, there are also some dark red flaming syrup. It seems that this is probably the underground volcanic belt that Lonning said. It seems that this is probably the underground volcanic zone that Lonning was talking about. The temperature of the river was so high that we struggled desperately in the torrent to climb up to a huge rock near the river, and found that even this rock was warm. Since there were lava fires nearby that could be illuminated, I turned off the flashlight to save some precious batteries and asked them, "Did you guys have a good look at it? What the hell was that thing back there just now? It was so big." Big Man and Lonning did not see clearly, shook his head at the same time. Trevor is the most miserable. Drank a bellyful of river water, the belly to support the round, a mouth to speak. Before the sound first spit out a number of mouthfuls of water, he rubbed his stomach while saying, "Oh, see that scary bear," followed by "Oh, guys, fell down the middle of the river." Just in case, the big man holding a military spike stood up to check the situation in the nearby river. "What water monster?" "Nothing." After saying his words, he turned around and was about to come back, when suddenly a big blood-red tongue stuck out from the river, more than 2 meters long, and with one roll it curled around the big man's legs, putting him on the ground and pulling him towards the river. Thanks to Trevor's quick eyes and hands, he used his bayonet to ruthlessly stab on the big tongue. The monster tongue ate the bane, let go of the big man, stared at the 2 red light-like strange eyes, and crawled out from the river. It looked exactly the same as the salamander that was shot by the big man earlier, with a head like a frog and a body like a skinless crocodile. Only this salamander was too big, even more than 10 meters long. The skin of its body glittered with colorful scales, and its big tail flicked out, gazing at the crowd fiercely and viciously. I asked Lonning, "Are you sure it won't hurt anyone? Why is this one so big?" Lonning's face turned pale, and he said with a trembling voice, I mean the last one. This is just a giant salamander. Very aggressive. It was extinct during the Ice Age, but I can't imagine that it's still here. No one would have thought that in this isolated and special environment there would be a beast that has been extinct since the ancient times. Salamanders are cold-blooded creatures. The high geothermal heat made the giant salamander in front of us become extremely violent, and Trevor stabbed a knife in its tongue. The taste of blood in its mouth made it produce a strong aggressiveness. What's more, the salamander we shot to death. I don't know if it's its descendants or not. In any case, this is the knot. And both sides will have to fight to the death here. I made a wink. The big man and Trevor will understand, respectively encircle the giant salamander's two sides. The three-member combat team to form a pincer attack situation. Giant salamander hooting and hollering to the three claws and teeth, not waiting for us to do it with a huge tail sweep. Put Trevor over on the ground, rolled Trevor, opened the bloody mouth on the bite. Salamander's mouth was no teeth, but this giant salamander's huge mouth up and down each have 3 rows of sharp teeth. If you let it bite on the bite, where can still live? If we let it bite us, we will not be able to survive. Seeing the emergency situation, the big man and I jumped over, and together we broke the giant salamander's mouth, no matter what. We couldn't let it bite down, otherwise Trevor's head would be gone. As long as it has nothing to do with religion, Trevor immediately became brave, although below the waist by giant salamander's tail rolled. But the hands do not stop. See this monster skin, thick flesh, not afraid of water and fire, had to use bayonet in its mouth poking. Giant salamander mouth injured and shocked and angry, make a strange force body to make a jerks. The body of the 3 people thrown off on the ground. This guy's strength is strange. I was thrown to a rock, hit the gas and blood surging. The eyes of the Venus chaos, the big man fell into the river, but immediately climbed back to the shore, covered with white steam, by the river water scalded wailed. Only with 3 bayonets want to fight with this huge giant salamander. It is like hitting a stone with an egg. The 4 people issued a shout. All together fall away. Giant salamander in hot pursuit. Underground is full of volcanic rock and ash. Step on the soft and slippery, running very hard. In order to get rid of this big monster behind us, we stepped on the river valley side of the volcanic rock to the steep climb. Hands and feet and climb higher and higher. I was halfway up when I heard the big man shouted at me, "Let me be careful." I looked down and the giant salamander wandered up the wall like a big lizard, trailing behind. Less than 3 meters away, its long tongue licking my ass. I want to jump down to escape, but climbed too high. Not sure I can jump to the river. If the slightest mistake, fall on the rocks will be miserable. I cursed. Free a hand to pull out the bayonet, ready to do the beast of prey, that is, even if I die, I want to pull on this monster back. The remaining 3 people also saw a giant salamander, will soon catch up with me. But the slope of the mountain wall is too steep. It is impossible to rush over to help. All gritted their teeth and stared at the eyes of the dry anxious. But there is nothing to do.